Thank you for tuning into ETI, Everybody's Tax and Insurance Services, Small Business and Commercial Insurance 101 session. My name is Danielle Smith and I am your small business specialist. Well, today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of information on what small business and commercial insurance is all about. You will basically understand what it is that you need to know before you actually get covered. All right, so now I'm going to give you a little bit more of insight of actually what insurance is. And if I were to ask you, just like I ask some of my other clients before we even get into the consultation phase, I always tend to ask them, do you even know what insurance is or what it actually does? And I always get the same answer. I know I have to have it. Well, that is true. You do have to have insurance. But here's the thing, insurance is actually just transferring the risk from your business, or like I always like to tell my clients, your livelihood, because your business is your livelihood. If your business is not working, you do not receive a paycheck to pay for your personal assets, which will be covered in another session. So you just transfer the risk from your business to another, meaning another company, another set of organizations, another individual, by means of contract. You give them the responsibility of taking care of any claims that may happen on your property, anything that may happen to your equipment, anything that may happen to another person's equipment. You transfer that risk over to them. Now, insurance, it doesn't only provide payment for claims. A lot of people just think, oh, well, I'm just going to get insurance because just in case something happens, I want to make sure that it's covered. Okay, that's totally fine. However, you also need to understand that it does help with defense coverage, and that's for businesses. Say, for instance, you're in a retail store and the clothing happens to be flammable and someone catches a fire and the individual wants to sue you. Well, you're going to need lawyers, and your insurance does provide that. It provides defense coverage. Another example would be, say for instance, you're in a store and you have and it's your store and someone happens to slip and fall. Well, you have defense coverage for that also. So it doesn't just provide payments for claims. Your premium that you're paying monthly or annually or quarterly or semi-quarterly, it doesn't just pay for claims that may happen to your business. It actually helps in other areas too. It helps with defense coverage, and a lot of people didn't know that. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that when you're getting your insurance, that you do understand that it does help with defense coverage for your business. You don't have to go out and try and find a lawyer. Now you can if you want to, but the coverage does help with defense. Okay, so just like I said in the last slide, what insurance is transferring risk. There are still some individuals or some companies that believe that they don't need insurance or that they're too small to have insurance. To me, the smaller your company is, the more insurance you need to have. Why? Because, say, for instance, your company is a very small local retail store and someone happens to want to sue you. It's not only going to touch the business pockets, it's going to go into your pockets because your business may not be putting enough revenue out there for you to actually take care of it. So on this slide, you'll see that every small business needs insurance. I don't care if you have 100 employees, which you guys is still considered a small business, or you have 1 to 2 employees, your business still needs insurance. You need insurance. Now, how much and what kind, that varies, but you do need insurance. And I'm going to give you a little bit more insight on what are the next steps for actually getting it. Now, the first step, you need to find an agent. You can't go out and get your own insurance because sometimes you don't know what you need. You don't know what will actually help cover you. You don't know what it is that may be able to keep you from going bankrupt if someone tries to sue you, or if something happens, or if your building catches on fire. You need to have an agent that can sit down and that is trustworthy to not only be trying to tell you what it is that you need, but they're not just trying to put extra coverages on so that they can get a larger commission. I don't care if I only get $50 from my clients' policies. The thing is, I want to make sure that you are correctly covered. If you don't need all of the coverages that come inside of a small business plan, we can adjust it so that you can actually have what it is that you need for your actual company. Now, the first step, like I said, is finding an agent or an agency that you trust and that will help you and not just themselves. You don't want someone that's just looking to put money in their pocket. That's not going to be a good thing, because they're going to pack on things that you may not need. You may be a salon owner and you don't rent the building, but they may try to sell you coverage for the building, knowing you don't need that. Because you lease the building. Now, if you own a building, then that's totally different. You're definitely going to need the property coverage. But if you are just, say, for instance, a booth renter, you don't need coverage for the building because you're only doing your area. You only need coverage for your area. So it's very important that you find someone that you can trust, someone that's willing to help you, that's not just looking out for themselves. Okay, so I told you that the first step is to find an agent. So now, all right, we found our agent, we found our agency. Is that agent an independent agent? What is an independent agent, you may ask? Okay, well, independent agents are agents that work for themselves. They don't just work for one company. They're not what's called a captive agent. Say, for instance, we know the company that's Red. Their agents can only sell their insurance. The company that's Blue, their agents can only sell their insurance. But if you were to go with an independent agent, they work with multiple companies, so they can find you the best rate. They can find you the best coverage for your company. They don't just have to sell what they have on their screen. They can go to different company screens. They can go to different company websites and find an actual coverage policy that's going to work for you. They can make sure that you are completely covered. The agent needs to make sure that they can distinguish what's best for you. A lot of people may say, oh, I just want some cheap insurance. Here's the thing. Cheap is not always the best thing. I always like to say quality over quantity. If you look at the picture that's on the screen, you can see with the stone, the larger stone is shapely. It's molded perfectly. It looks like an egg. Perfect. That stone is heavier. Is shaped better. It looks better than the 4 stones that are to the other side that don't even weigh as much. It's about quality. You can have 4, or you can have cheaper policies, or you can have 5 different policies stacked on top of each other, and they don't equal up to that one policy that will make sure that you are completely covered. Cheaper coverage will not always be what's best for you. You need to make sure that your company is completely covered from the door to your seat, to the chair, to the clothes that's in the bag, to the inventory. You need to make sure everything is covered. It needs to make sure that your employees are covered. What by that I mean, we love to believe that all employees are trustworthy. We want to make sure that they are the ones that are taking care of our business. However, sometimes employees are not. So we want to make sure that it's covered. We don't want them stealing thousands of dollars from us and then we can't reap, or we can't get our money back. We can't get the things that they took from us in inventory. We want to make sure that everything is covered, from employees to our bank deposits to our inventory to everything, any and everything. Everything we need to make sure is covered. So just know that cheaper coverage will not always be the best thing for you. All right, so now let's get to the fun part. All right, so commercial general liability. Um, what is it? A lot of people you'll hear say CGL. What is CGL? CGL is general liability for your company that protects you in the event that the other person has any bodily injury. Now, you may ask, okay, so what's bodily injury? They come into your location, they come into your office, they fall, they have to go to the doctor, they have back problems, they can't go to work, um, they can't drive, they have bodily injury. Now, we can think about it just like personal auto. You have your bodily injury, which is the liability that covers the other person just in case something happens to them, in the event that you're at fault. So that's what the general liability is there for. It protects you just in case somebody else comes into your location, or they come onto your property, or they use your property or your equipment, or they use something that is associated with you and they get injured. Now, general liability also protects you in the event that the other person has property damage or loss of use. So, what's property damage? Now, that's, say, for instance, something that they purchase from you damages something, or it damages their home. Or, say, for instance, it damages their vehicle or something of that nature. It protects you in that event. Now, the loss of use is, say, for instance, that same item destroyed their home or it destroyed their car, and they can't go to work, they can't sleep in the home, they have to stay in a hotel. Well, that also protects you for loss of use. They can't use the items that they once had before purchasing your product or before purchasing your services. They can't use that product. They can't use their personal items anymore. So that protects you from any lawsuits or anything of that nature. Now, here's the tricky one. It also covers you in case of personal and advertising liability. What is that? That's actually the other person's reputation and legal rights. You may be like, okay, well, how can I damage that? It's possible. Say, for instance, like earlier when I said the company that's red, you already know what company I'm talking about, but I'm not going to put their name out there because I can possibly get sued for damaging their reputation or going against their legal rights. I don't want that to happen. So if you, for instance, say the company you advertise your product, we both have the same type of skin cleanser, and you, for instance, go and advertise that my skin cleanser is better, company XYZ, they burn your skin and they do this and they do that. Well, if that's not completely true, it may have happened to one or two individuals, but if it's not completely true, you have just messed with their reputation. So your advertising now is damaging their sales, is damaging their reputation in the community and in the service world or the product world. You're held liable for that because you are the ones that actually put that out there. So you can get sued for that. And the commercial general liability or your CGL helps you with that. So that's something very important that you need to understand, that it not only helps you in case somebody gets hurt at your office or gets hurt by the product that you sell or by the service that you're performing, but it protects their property damage. If it protects you if they receive property damage or loss of use. It also covers personal and advertising liability if, for instance, not only if it's a company, but if it's an individual that's selling a product. You may have made a mistake by just saying something that was totally minuscule, but it messed up their reputation. So you can get sued from that. All right, so that was a lot of fun. Just giving you all just a little snippet of what commercial general liability insurance and small business insurance actually is, and what it is that you need to know in order to get started. Um, like I said earlier, my name is Danielle Smith, and I am a licensed insurance specialist. I love to specialize in small business and commercial insurance because I believe that if you don't protect your livelihood or your business, then your personal assets, matter of fact, you won't even have personal assets. So it's very important to make sure that you know what it is that you have, what coverage you have, what insurances that you need and don't need. Um, I am located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. However, I do travel quite a bit. I have my number here for the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas, area code 225-963-6379. And if you are outside of Baton Rouge within the state of Louisiana, you can definitely give me a call at 1-888-242-0212. I am looking forward to many more um, videos and slide presentations to help you all get ready to protect the assets that are most important to you, that you definitely need to keep protected in order for your family to continue to thrive. I want to make sure that everybody understands what they are purchasing. Don't just go out there on a whim and say, I'm going to get some insurance and we're going to be all right. No, 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 no. Don't you do that. So it's always best and very important that you make sure you get the insurance that will help keep you where you need to be, keep you growing. It's never an idea that you can have too little insurance or your account is too small for an insurance company. No, that's the ones that you definitely need to protect because you are growing your company. You need to make sure that in the event something happens during that process, that your company is protected because you don't want to lose your company overnight. So I just want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to make sure that you all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you all are on all of our social media sites. We are ETI underscore BR. You definitely need to check us out on Instagram, check us out on Facebook. If you see me at any event, definitely let me know that you were checking out the videos and what you think, what I need to actually change, what it is that you want me to talk about so that you can get a better understanding. That's what I'm here for. I want to make sure that you understand everything about the insurance industry.